That's a stop sign on State Route 3 just a couple miles south of Chester. When I was here Monday, this road was drivable. Now it's covered in about 4 feet of water. Now after firefighters arrived and they put out the flames, that's when they found a body right behind the Midas Repair Center over there across the street. Now people working in offices nearby tell me it's the last thing they expected to see while arriving at work this morning. Dennis, people are wondering what's going on here in Carbondale. Now, according to crime data, so far this year, Carbondale has already seen more shootings than any other year in the last decade. Around 9:30 last night, 31-year-old Willie Brown was walking down this street when he was shot multiple times. That sent him to the hospital where he was later pronounced dead. It should also worry you as well because it affects everything from where you shop to where you eat. Hey, Mark, yeah, I'm here running with local law enforcement on their annual torch run to benefit Special Olympics, and we're actually about a mile away from Rentwan Park.
We're flying over Randolph County right now where emergency management officials are praying for the best but preparing for the worst.
Good footwear is always a concern out here, as Caitlin Sauger found out firsthand when her shoes fell apart and she nearly tripped. And without state funding, Arnold says things vital to the program would disappear. As soon as you walk into the Illinois Star Center Mall in Marion, you notice a few things right off the bat, like an empty storefront here, and right here. This is all that's left of the ultralight aircraft that took off from the Mount Vernon Airport and crash landed Tuesday afternoon. The Chester Bridge is closed, and this is the closest I could get to Menard Prison, where staff, inmates, and volunteers have laid more than 15,000 sandbags to combat flooding. 94-year-old Robert Perkins has to be the most dedicated Cubs fan I've ever met. Now, back in 1945, the last time the Cubs were in a World Series, he was actually stationed on a battleship in the Pacific Ocean. Now, as you can see here at John Brown's, things are getting pretty crazy before the game, but this year was actually the first year that Perkins got to watch his Cubbies play in a World Series.
Take me out to the ball game.
94-year-old Robert Perkins has been waiting for this day his whole life.
Oh, there you go.
How much would it mean to you to see the Cubs win a World Series?
Oh, everything. Been a long time.
Perkins fell in love with the Cubs at a young age.
Oh, they got 3 runs now.
After going to a game with his father.
Even though they were losers, they were winners with the people. The people never left them.
Perkins has never seen the Cubs play in a World Series.
They gave us the mess hall at night and put the radio on.
In 1945, the last time the Cubs played a World Series, Perkins was serving on a battleship in World War II.
No television, because we had radar, which was top secret.
Now, he finally gets to watch the series.
Pretty neat moment, just father-son.
With his son by his side.
All right.
A memory he says he'll never forget.
That's Jack. He's my buddy. He's taken over everything, because I'm too damn old.
After watching Game 6 Tuesday,
I've got a runny nose or I'd clap too.
Jack and his dad hope they'll see a repeat performance from their Cubs in Game 7.
Here's a 1-2.
They're young guys, and they're ornery, and they will fight back.
But no matter what happens in Game 7, Perkins says he'll still be singing for the Cubs.
Go, Cubs, go! Hey, Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win.
Hauling a house down a highway is a tough task for movers. And for people clearing the way like tree cutting expert Michael Caskey.
So here we are today, following the house in front of it, making sure the path's cleared up and, keeping busy.
Caskey and his crew quickly made room for more than 2,000 square feet of home heading down Highway 14 east of Benton.
All the trees, everything you see hanging over the roadway here, we're making sure the house has plenty enough room to clear by, and that's what we've been contracted in to do and required by the state to do.
It's definitely not every day you see a house 80 feet long being towed behind a semi.
1 second here. In the middle of trying to get past a tree.
Unless your name is Rick Payne, who has wanted to move big things since seeing a house hauled as a kid.
I thought I was seeing things, or it's something that I know kids and even adults can really appreciate the magnitude of the building this size.
A local coal company bought the land where the house originally sat, leaving the homeowners to decide whether to build new or take their home with them.
They decided that it'd be easier, faster, and cheaper just to move the house, and the owners really, they like the house, and, it's your home. If you like it, why not just keep it?
The process may seem extreme, but is actually cheaper than tearing down and building new.
I'd say it's estimated at least $300,000 home.
Crews ran into a few snags along the way, but Caskey says it's an experience he'll never forget.
It's going to be one of them. I mean, I'll remember this for a long time. I mean, you don't see a house going down a U.S. highway usually. Not a full-size one at that.
Came at me, pinned me up against the wall. Sorry.
The man who broke into Peggy Weddle's home in Heron Monday morning didn't expect her to put up a fight.
Kind of took me out of the door with him, and I shoved him over the rail, and he took off.
When Peggy's husband, Darren, a pastor at a local church, heard the news, he could only think of one thing.
Thinking, man, I want to find this guy, and I want to lay hands on him and pray for him, if you know what I mean.
Darren says he's proud of his wife's quick thinking to chase the man.
After all that he did and put her through, she still had enough sense to grab that and go out and take a photo.
Darren hopes his wife's pictures will help police catch the man who attacked her, ransacked their home,
He got caught, and they ripped the phone out.
and a second person who may have broken into his wife's car.
Hopefully, if there's 1 or 2 or 10 or whatever, they can be brought to justice.
Peggy describes the man who attacked her as 6 feet 2 inches tall with blonde hair, in his early 20s, and weighing about 250 pounds. And even that didn't stop Weedle from defending herself.
She's a pretty amazing woman. You know, I've been married to her for 26 years, and she never ceases to surprise me or amaze me.
He says the burglar surely got a surprise when his wife flipped him over their front porch rail.
For somebody to invade our home, I just think they picked the wrong person, the wrong woman to confront with.
He picked the wrong person to mess with today. Yes, he did.
Born with a hand that looked different than most of his friends, Sam Coonard of DuQuoin dreamed of helping people like him.
Put something in my heart. I'm like, I want to change this. I want to show these parents that their kids can do it, but more importantly, I want to show these kids they were created perfectly and that they can do anything.
So 5 years ago, he started this sports camp. 19 campers showed up. This year, that number grew to 125. The goal? Having fun while teaching campers from around the globe important lessons.
I learned that no matter what you look like, what you are always perfect.
Campers here make lifelong friends.
I get to see people like me, and the coaches are like me, and they help me out.
For their first activity, campers teed it up with a round of golf. Athletes and coaches with limb differences can do things like swing a golf club or swim just as well, if not better, than people without limb differences. Evan McCormick from DuQuoin heard of Coonard's camp and jumped at the chance to change his life.
See that people are actually learning how to fight through their hardest parts in life.
Coonard's biggest reward comes in seeing campers pay it forward.
When you're a little kid, you're dreaming about professional athletes. Well, these kids are dreaming about being a coach to the others, and that's what's so cool.